I'm experimenting since I haven't got much else going on. Driving by myself, passenger seat's empty. Fortunately, I still haven't figured out how to switch the camera around. Not that I'm experimenting with that portion while I'm driving. Bigger question for me is, it looked like the last live stream ended because I lost signal. And it looked like I was able to hit restart on that, which is great. But I'm not quite sure if it made one live stream or two live streams. So I thought, I got nothing else going on except saying hello. So let's experiment. Worst case, I can always hit delete, right? It's easier to hit delete than make stuff magically appear that doesn't exist because you never recorded it. I've made it all the way through the 162, just made it to the 5. And I'm just kind of, again, giving a recap of some of the things that we saw and explored, liked, difficulties of our just recent outing. I was talking a bit ago about how we decided to go all the way over to the 5 because it was actually closer than 101 to give this a try. But it's hot down here. It's 92 degrees, and all I see is like farmer fields. On the 162, and the 101 all the way to Ukiah, it's like in most places, or half the places, it's one-lane highway. You're alongside the Eel River for most of it, and you're going through the forest. To me, I got my mixed emotions about going this way or going home back the way we came in. But I won't know until I get home, that's for sure. I can't wait to show some of the pins I gathered while we were out. And I know I'm not the only one who saved some, so this ought to be good. Got really lucky. Awesome group of people to be camping with. Had a great time. I was just sad to see the whole thing end. Got lucky enough that my family came up today. Everybody else left, so that I had some company and people to stay with and hang out. Filmed a couple more vlogs. Felt kind of weird doing those when everybody was around because it was taking me away from the crowd, and I wanted to be with everybody. The crowd was the wrong term. It was not very many people. Perfect number. Loved it. Daniel, if you're watching, right on for a while, approaching us at the gas station. It was a pleasure having you with us. I was flattered the fact you'd seen me the night before on YouTube, so I'm glad that all worked out. I hope you had a good time. We certainly saw a whole lot. We started off by showing off a couple of campsites that I liked, and then we went down and got spring water, and we all gathered down there and chatted it up and decided we were going to stick together and headed over to Board Tree. Got lucky, another friend was already there, not staying, but already there, so I got to say hello and catch up. We also got lucky in the fact that California Conservation Crew was in Board Tree cleaning it up when we got there, so they were literally raking and chainsawing to clear the ground to make it safer for fires. Our campsite, where we ended up staying, which is not really one site, but several, we put a person at each one to keep ourselves distance, and also to kind of give ourselves a bigger area, stake a bigger claim, if you will. In reality, there was only one other RV for most of the nights, and the second one for one night, way over on the other side, so it was no issue at all. We never heard their music, I doubt they heard ours, so we never partied. We had some great times, but we were never loud. The views from up there, though, awesome. And then to have ocean view just 10 minutes away. And I now also have a laundry list on my phone of other.
Excellent, the turnoff for that lake park that we went to.
Oh, East Park Reservoir?
Just FYI.
Gotcha. That's a fun place. Love the fishing there, but where we were was far better.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade it.
East Park Reservoir, we've stayed there a couple times now. It's like staying in the desert, though. Dry, dusty. The first day we got there, it was, 107 when we pulled in? That was brutal. But right next to camp, with campground, literally. But unfortunately, our host had rented the entire campground, so it was all ours. But I was bass fishing 30 feet from my tent. I love to fish for bass, but I'm not much of one who likes to eat the bass. And I was just killing it with the top water across the weeds. I love that sight, like a whale just coming up out of the water, taking your bait, back in the water. That's awesome. Did find some bullfrogs back in there, so one evening I had some bullfrog for dinner. I don't know if you've ever had bullfrog. Quite tasty, and they're really easy to process, prep for eating. Again, the whole stretch of 162, there's so many. Maybe not going camping, just going for exploring. There's so much to do. You want to go fishing. You want to go to spring water. You want to go see some neat little meadows. See some epic views. Man, there's a lot of them out there. I've been going pretty often for a year now. Lately, it's been every other week. And I still, every time I go on new trails, something new every single time. And having the climate not be, let's say, dry and just chaparral, just like any Valley Reservoir. It's bushes everywhere, open dirt, just hot. And that's a great spot to go if you want to go riding and shooting. That's where I go. But I don't bring the bike every time I go. I don't bring the guns every time I go. Each trip is different, unique. Depends on who I'm with and what we're up to. Well, crawfish. I don't see those every day. That's pretty cool. I'm glad he's going that way though, so I don't have to breathe that junk. Huh. That was kind of cool. I'm looking off in the mountains off in the distance, just salivating. When am I going back? Who's coming with me? Actually, I think the who's coming with me is a pretty easy question to solve. It's the when. Whatever, though. I'll find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way, right? I have a huge desire, so let's see what I can do. Guided goose hunts. Pigs. One of the other things that really I was excited about with this trip is everybody was really okay with me stopping a lot to change camera angles. Oh, hey, that tractor trailer just went off the edge of the road, but they're back on, so that's good. We changed camera angles a lot. Problem is the dust. I'm not sure how many of the angles are any good. We're gonna find out. We did a lot of recording. A couple spots where we had ground cameras going and then the drones going. So we were picking up, from the same action that's going on for multiple locations. Also, this is the first time I had my radio. Sorry, I'm distracted looking at all the loads going the other way, and some are just not tied down very well. This was the first trip I actually hooked up the DAR, the digital audio recorder, to the radios. So that should be interesting. It turned out to be pretty invaluable. When the Volvo was having trouble with the hill climb, we were able to monitor things from above to make sure that everything went all right. Things got into trouble. We were back where we could get cell coverage. We were also back where we could get into town to go get more people or gear or tools or whatever we needed. Turned out we just needed a lot of patience. After, I think it was about an hour and a half, finally they got it out in one piece without any, a pretty good scratch, but I wouldn't call it didn't puncture the skin, so to speak. But it was nice being able to keep track of what's going on. So the radios I'm glad for. I want to get more of them though. I did bring my less expensive radios. Kept referring to them as Cabela's style, which I know is a pretty generic term. I have more of these, the Belfangs. Man. Now that I got my GMRS license, I don't have to worry about it. On an external antenna, had no issues talking, and it was nice having every single car had a radio. We knew what was going on. Sometimes I was, watch out for this bump or a rock or something. Other times it was, man, this is a lot of fun. Or, hey, let's take this road. Or you guys wait here while we scout this out. Because there were quite a few of those for me. That was kind of narrow for Dylan's Pretty Boy truck. We're going to wait a bit and let him, we'll call you and let you know if you're safe. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need some help from Dylan getting some cowboy pinstripes out. But I don't think gives anything through the clear coat. And this is really interesting watching people fight for position. Everyone wants to go different speed. It's only 2 lanes. I don't know. I'm not in a huge hurry. I've been in the woods for 5 days now. And I'm already ready to go back. Oh, cool off. 90. I woke up this morning and just had some really thin PJs and a t-shirt, slipped on some socks in my shoes, and it was quite comfortable. I woke up fairly late, 8:30 or something. That's when I actually got out of bed. I got up earlier, but I tried to find a way to set up a time lapse, but failed on that one. So whatever. I have a ton of footage as it is. My rough guess is around 200 gigs of pictures and video. We'll see. If you're watching, feel free to throw some message up on the chat. I'll do my best to try and read it. It's just all new and unfamiliar territory for me. I'm looking all over the place, not for also looking for traffic things that could pass with me, but also just I haven't been over here. It's like farmer's heaven over here. I feel so slow. I'm going 60 with the trailer. It just feels epic slow. Whatever. Slow and steady wins the race, they say, right? At some point we head west. I don't know where that is. You know it's on Highway 20. I know that much. I love adventures, right? So back to cars. The fact that Eric was able to get his Volvo around, the Crown Victoria, the retired police car was able to get around quite well. Goes to show that there's plenty to do out there. And don't feel limited because you own a car. Just do more diligence. That's all I'd say. So diligence is the most important thing. Make sure that it's a spot you can navigate. And you go out, you're going to be fine. There are places you can go. We've talked about it before. I'd be glad to help you again. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to let me know. I'll do what I can to answer them. We should all be enjoying it. As long as we take care of it, don't abuse it, why not, right? Oh, I heard rumor they cleaned up Wells Cabinet some too. That was interesting. And can't wait to get up there and see what that looks like. Before it just looked like someone done a huge amount of work and then just left all the trees they felled. They cut up a whole bunch, but the majority they just left. So to me, it just looked kind of dirty and I don't know, not very appealing and inviting. And I hear Board Tree used to be an established campground with running water and vault toilets, but I think he said the Spanish fire came through is what wiped it out. And ever since they've never reinstalled the vault toilets or the water, but they've tried to maintain it as a spot where you can have campfires. Apparently during deer season, that place is quite popular. We did see a 4-pointer last night in Velvet, still in Velvet. Right below camp, I don't know, 200 yards before the turnout heading east, right, 200 yards before 312. Yeah, nice big 4-pointer. 4 points on one side, not those combined. Still in Velvet. Beautiful looking buck right there. So I know they're there. If the females are around, the one with the fawn is around, you know there's bucks around. It's kind of interesting because these bucks are what they call, or some would refer to as human friendly, or friendly around people. it was actually a little too friendly. Fortunately, we noticed before it became a problem, but we decided to go for to the edge of the camp, find a spot where we could do some target shooting. I had a bunch of really old eggs. And next thing we know, fortunately, someone saw her. She started walking downrange right across where we were shooting. So we called a ceasefire, set our weapons down. We tried to encourage her by just all of us walking with heavy, heavy feet to go away, but she just would not. She kept doing this like snake up the hill above where we were shooting. So we ended up calling it. All right, no more shooting. Obviously, it's some sort of sign. So we certainly didn't want to hit her. So yeah, we just called it a day and ended up going on some adventures. I love the target shoot, but it's not the primary premise when I go camping. If I don't get to bring them camping, it's no big deal. Like when I go to the game refuge, can't bring them there. You're not supposed to. I think there are some technicalities to that. I believe it's what disassembled and put in the case or something. You're allowed to have it separate from the ammo. But again, it's just not the place to bring them. So I go without, and it does not bother me being in the woods. The only thing that got into our food this entire trip was a deer. She did it twice. She got on the table and just knocked a ton of stuff over, chewed on some labels and whatnot, but never really actually got any food. Never saw a bear, no raccoons, and our food was out all the time. Granted, the really tasty stuff like the s'mores was all in the Yeti, and then the cold stuff was still in the refrigerator. So there may have been a bear come through camp, but we never saw it. Never saw any prints. We did, when I cleaned the fish, I did throw all the heads and internals in the fire so they weren't roast or marinating, if you will, in our trash. That would be definitely a stench that we wouldn't want to enjoy, and a bear might like, they're calling me. I see smoke up ahead. I wonder where that is. Hey, Williams, next two exits. This isn't that bad a drive. It's pretty mellow. It seems like I could just take cruise control. If I had a smart car, I could just fall asleep. Oh, there we go. 20. Calusa, Clear Lake. Exit. Next exit. So at some point here, I'm going to lose signal. I know I do on the 20. I'm just not sure where. But again, I wanted somebody to talk to, so I thought I'd jump on here and say hi to you, just hang out with you. I was getting lonely. I need somebody. Now, I must be going under the speed limit or something. I'm being passed by even tractor trailers. But that's okay. Again, I want to see if I can make it home with this, what's left of this tank. I'm just above a quarter. So I've got about a quarter till my fuel light comes on. 149-mile range, it says. 36 gallons of fuel burns. That's a full tank. That's a lot of fuel. Well, that portion went really quick. This portion I've been on a couple of times, so I have some idea where I'm at, what's going on. That, yeah, look on the map where it says Simpson Camp area. It's a beautiful area. You can't have a fire there. You're a little closer to Pleasant Meadows for fishing. Shift. You're a little bit, or you're a lot closer to Springwater. When I ran into Springwater the other day, it was, I think, 45 minutes, hour to go get Springwater. And then I drove back to Pleasant Meadows for about, I don't know, hour and a half, 2 hours. And then headed back to camp. I think all said and done, it was about 3 hours for fishing and gathering water. But if I were out of water at any other location and didn't know about the spring, that would be time to head home. I mean, I could have boiled that other spring water that I made a video about. I think I did. Anyway, I could boil that. It looked pretty clean, but anyway, I don't know what gives me a false sense of security or any kind of sense of security. But having water right there, not having to worry about it. Sure, you want to take a shower? Go for it. Let's go get more. Dishes? Whatever you need in there. Go ahead. Not a big deal. We'll put more in, or we'll get more. Spring water is nice to have, I tell you. Next time, though, I'm bringing buckets for sure, or bucket lids for sure. I brought buckets for the fire water, but the trail down there is really rough. It's downhill there and uphill back. Oh, charging stopped. My phone is too hot. Go away. Well, I killed my train of thought. Oh, bucket lids. Bucket lids, I could put on the lids on the buckets, fill them up, drive them, then drive them back up to camp. And it's a real bummer carrying 10 gallons of water up a hill. It's not that steep, but any steepness when you're carrying 10 gallons sucks. Bucket lids. That's a definite one for next time. And certainly cheap, but all the things
Do you
like
remember when he dropped us off?
we keep going on the 20, we'll end up in the 101. It'll take us through Upper Lake and whatnot.
But does it drop us off? Does the toy drop us off to Kaya on the 101?
Affirmative, that's correct.
Right.
Let's see how we feel when we get to the 29, and then we'll figure out if we're going over the grade or not.
Wait.
Very handy, a lot easier than finding them on the phone and then hitting send or sending a text, which you're not supposed to do anyway. Just grab the radio, car in front of me, which is actually only one car. Oh, coffee. It's a good thing I've got like 3 days worth of food still left. Like my family came up, they brought food. I had food. I mean, if I had scavenged what was left over, made it last, I still would have been fine. But there's only so much trail mix you can eat. Only so many protein bars you can eat and whatnot. So I was glad they brought up some food too. So everywhere is farming out here. I'm used to grapes. I'm used to farming everywhere, but grapes. Grapes. Out here, it looks like it's everything from almonds to alfalfa. And I'm not really sure what the green stuff is. It's not pot, I know that much. I don't know. It got a little cooler, but some morning doves. Delicious.
Just to double check. Check, you want us to stop at the intersection of the 29, right?
I know where it is. I'll get in touch with you and let you know how I feel. It's mostly how much fuel we have left to make that choice. I'm not concerned about driving over it. The truck can handle it. It's the fuel.
Okay.
I want to see if I can make it home without stopping for fuel. I'm just above a quarter. I don't know. It's going to be tight.
I'm not playing there.
Yep. It is what it is. I've burned 36 gallons on this trip so far.
Like I said, let's play there.
Not really that dark. Is it the screen? Oh no, you can kind of see. Dashboard's all blown out. That's okay. Blown out as far as white balance. Hopefully, it being bright is not too much of a distraction. My phone's overheating. I can see grades coming up, and I know that's where I lose signal. So rather than just lose everything, I'd love to say goodbye. You will see me again on Thursday evening, one way or another. I'm coming on, and we're going to drop some pins. Hopefully, some people will tune in and see this and join me to help talk about the amazing adventures we had. So, in the meantime, thanks for watching. Don't forget the thumbs up, subscribe button so that you can be notified when these videos come up. And we're doing our best to keep them coming, but spending more time getting them a little better job telling stories. So so